Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. In the bottom right hand corner we have Kiwikaki as the yellow protoss, upper left hand corner we have Slush as the orange zerg. I'm actually excited to do a replay with Slush involved. This is on Jungle Basin if you're unfamiliar with the map, and even though I think players tend to dislike this map for a lot of reasons, I think it's great for commentating because you have kind of a pseudo-protected natural expansion over here, and I mean pseudo-protected because you have destructible rocks, so not fully protected, but beyond that you've got two base play that turns into kind of a map control game because the nearest expansion for, well, either player is really in the middle. You don't always see players go for this expansion, but you have a ton of entry points, including very wide ramps on that opposite side, on either side, I should say. And then also you have the 9 o'clock and the 3 o'clock locations where you do have a smaller ramp, and it's a little bit more defendable. You also have kind of high brush up here that you got to keep, kind of keep an eye on. But look how far this expansion in particular is from the main. So generally what happens is as long as you keep an eye on things in two base play, keep an eye on your Zelnaga watchtowers, maybe even have a couple zerglings out on the front door, or a zealot, or maybe an observer. I wouldn't be surprised actually if we saw a robotics facility opening from Kiwikaki across the board just to get an observer out, just to keep an eye on his opponent. It really works out that you can just go two bases, you can macro up, and then two players move out, and it's kind of a fun fight from there. And knowing Kiwikaki, I'm almost expecting him to go blink stalkers. His style is extremely fun to watch. He's really good at that micromanagement. I'm really excited to see what he's going to be up to. And Slush on the opposite end, actually not even making a fake at going for a natural expansion first, just going to plop down a spawning pool to start. So wow, let's see how he transitions out of this. This might hurt his economy early, particularly on what again is a two base play map to start. So I'm kind of curious how if he's just he just wanted to get two zerglings out a little bit faster and not have to deal with the pylon. There's a pylon blockade by Kiwikaki, so going to lose some resources to start because he really didn't need to do this pylon blockade at this stage because Slush again not really making any motions. But I'm kind of curious how Slush is going to play this out at this stage. But anyway, usually, yeah, I'm not sure where to go from there. I just want to see what Slush is up to once he produces. So, okay, he's producing. Let me bring up the production tab. A little bit of lag there. 6 zerglings to start as well. So very odd play from Slush to begin with. Not only has he not opted to go for his natural expansion, on top of that, he's producing 6 zerglings. So that's 2 less drones than he could have been producing. Perhaps he's up to some sort of interesting cheese. And I was about to say, Slush, we saw him a little bit in the beta, part of that HavadCon connection and some show matches. And special shout out to VodCon, awesome guy out there. And I think, yeah, you already see Kiwikaki feels like something's up. He's already got pseudo front door seal going on. He's got a cybernetics core and a zealot alongside can block that front door, but also building a forge because a little bit concerned about what Slush might be up to. And Slush already took out that pylon that was blockading, now getting that natural expansion up, but at the same, and also grabbing quick gas. But honestly, knowing Slush, I think he might open up Banelings to start because the matches I've seen him in against Artosis and against others, that's really what I was about to say. Unfortunately, he's most famous for in the beta is having a little bit of controversy with Artosis, but anyway, I won't harp too much on that. He tends to have a penchant. He loves the little green guys. He likes throwing Banelings out in the field. Looks like we're seeing a level 1 weapons upgrade from Kiwikaki, and it looks like he's going to try to... he's got that probe pinned in the meantime, getting a stalker to take care of it. So at least he's going to get that drone kill. And it looks like that weapons 1 is going to be spotted by Slush, and Slush now moving those zerglings forward. So yeah, I'm just kind of there's the Baneling now. So we are in fact going to see Banelings from Slush early, which is going to be very difficult to execute up this ramp. And really the key for Kiwikaki is to get out some sentries, is to yeah, just have some forces maybe out in the field to absorb that a little bit, maybe go on the offensive on his own. Looks like he is getting some warp gates built. And I think where you're going to see that key point of attack is at the destructible rocks. Probably going to see zerglings burst this open. It looks like an overlord already hanging over, but Kiwikaki has to sense this coming. And it looks like he's already moving a stalker out towards that direction. He's actually not taking his natural expansion and plopping 2 additional gateways. So yeah, he's definitely feeling like Slush is up to something. Instead, he's going to opt for more troops to start. And I like that play on his regard. And that might give somewhat of an opportunity for Slush to catch up. Actually, never mind. It looks like he's already about 5 drones behind, or I should say 5 harvesters behind. And yeah, I don't know. Let's see how Slush kind of plays this out. I do like this hidden probe in the upper right hand corner because really what was going to be key for Slush otherwise was, never mind, proxy pylon from Kiwikaki to follow this up. and he's got to be warp. Oh wow, with the warp gates, this is going to be devastating for Slush to cope with, because first of all, he's going to have to pin his Zerglings back here to deal with whatever's warping in, even if he does get Banelings. And it looks like, I think that Baneling nest, yeah, it is finished. Let's see if he's morphing any Banelings in. I don't see any Banelings morphing right this second. He's trying to get a Spinecrawler. Okay, there's the Banelings right this second. But Zealot's going to be able to warp right into the back of Slush's base, and on top of that, with that separation from the pylon, it's going to be very difficult for Slush to go out and take care of that pylon with the Zealots constantly flooding in. So Slush's economy continuing to get battered. Looks like speed almost upgraded, and the Spinecrawler planted. There are Banelings, but yeah, really what Slush wants to do is he wants to try to hit these Zealots when they're grouped up, and actually making a very wise decision not to attack with these Banelings, to just store them until he can get larger numbers, really, and let that Spinecrawler deal with it otherwise. And there, very nice splash attack, not killing the Zealots, but doing pretty significant damage, leaving several of them weak. So pretty solid defense by Slush thus far. He still needs some more Zerglings. Loses the Spinecrawler, and might lose his Queen if he doesn't get an infusion on it rather rapidly. Actually didn't need the infusion. Has stopped that attack, but I love what Kiwikaki's doing. He's continuing to harass with the Zealots, forcing Slush to build more Zerglings instead of drones, doing significant amount of damage here in the backfield just by having these Zealots presence. And on top of that, and you can see just all these Zerglings that Slush has been forced to produce, now trying to catch up in drones here. And in the meantime, looks like Kiwikaki has taken his natural expansion, now getting a little bit overzealous, running out to try to take care of that pylon. He's going to have to bring these Zerglings right back to try to cope with just even a 3 Zealot attack. Wow, and I really like this play from Kiwikaki, really throwing Slush off balance, and it looks like Slush already moving the drones back to the mineral line, which is somewhat dangerous, honestly, and just sending a handful of Zerglings up there to take care of that probe and take that pylon otherwise. But now Slush with 6 Zealots back here, and that is not enough Zerglings to really handle that, even with the Banelings that'll morph in, and it looks like these 6 Zealots going to get free reign on this hatchery, and I don't know that Slush has enough to stop these Zealots from killing that hatchery if they focus fire. And it looks like just 2 Zealots attacking from above, 3 on a little bit more of a defensive posture, and now it looks like they're switching off, not really focusing. 2 drones killed, more attack to Slush's economy, continuing to have to build Zerglings, and this hatchery might go down. It is down to 300 health, 200 health, an infusion right there to try to keep it alive from the Queen, but it is going to be too late. The hatchery, another infuse actually, might stay up, and this is going to be pretty close. The Zealots, just too many of them, take the hatchery out. And now they're, die very rapidly after that. But Kiwikaki now in a fantastic position. Just beautiful position. Also, I like this, getting a pylon at the Destructible Rock now that he's really dealt a significant blow to Slush's economy. He knows that essentially he has to come at him with full force. It looks like the Zerglings moving in now. Actually, an additional Tech the Lair already from Slush, and I don't really know that he has an economy to cope with that. And I love Kiwikaki with the sentries on the front, just in case there was any sort of bust to follow. He can just plant force fields down and stop it cold. So beautiful, and a cannon warping in back here. So those Zerglings run and see the cannon. Now they have to back off. Another Zergling just kind of pushing up, and looks like, yeah, Kiwikaki in a fantastic position economically. Wow, way up on the Harvester count. Is going to plop down a Stargate, perhaps to get a Phoenix to do a little bit of scouting, maybe even a little bit of harass there, maybe even try to catch Overlords on that timing thing. And it looks like that's actually probably why Slush went to layer right there, because he's more or less forced to, because he needs some sort of anti-air. It looks like he's trying to get a Spire up in the meantime. But Kiwikaki in a fantastic economic position. Natural expansion still not up, and it looks like he's actually opening up his own Destructible Rock. I think Slush's best bet here is maybe to sneak an expansion at the 3 o'clock, maybe even sneak 2 expansions, and pray that Kiwikaki either doesn't scout it or doesn't come out to attack him. But unfortunately, Kiwikaki in such a position where it looks like he is building a Phoenix and actually going up to a pretty hefty gateway count off 2 bases. So not completely capping out, but pretty hefty, considering he's got, you know, Forge, continuing to macro that up. He's also got that Stargate tech. I'm almost curious when he's going to go out and which base he decides to take. And it looks like Slush is going to try to take that 3 o'clock. And let's see if he tries to take an additional one on top of it. He's going to have a hard time defending that, though, with just Zerglings. So it looks like his plan at this stage, to try to catch up in this match, is to get some Mutalisks out in the field, try to pin Kiwikaki back. But unfortunately, Kiwikaki, again, he has the Phoenix. It looks like it's going to scoot across the 3 o'clock. That Phoenix can provide some nice latent defense, can also pin the units back, and on top of that, all he needs to do is just warp in a lot of these guys right here, a lot of sentries, a lot of for the force field, as well as a lot of stalkers underneath, and he should be fine. Could even warp some in for kind of on the pylon coverage, also warping in a photon cannon just in case, and actually scouting everything here. Evolution Chamber. I do believe that I think Kiwikaki already has weapons 1, is probably already, I think he's already on the way to weapons, no, never mind, is actually backing off weapons 2, and actually building a Void Ray and Stalkers with Blink, and actually, wow, I think we're going to see a Mothership here, Fleet Beacon. It's possible we'll see the Void Ray speed, but I don't know, I think we're going to see a Mothership from Kiwikaki here to start. We'll see momentarily when that Fleet Beacon finishes. The Mutalisks now incoming for Slush, and let's see how much damage they'll get done. There is, keep in mind, 2 cannons back here, not they can actually avoid that cannon, but it's still possible they could get a lot of damage done. This Phoenix just running up, getting some scouting information, just being annoying, and this 3 o'clock position, unfortunately, Slush needs to bring these Mutalisks back to try to defend that 3 o'clock. I really don't think he can afford to lose that here, but it looks like he is going to be able to take that cannon down as the Stalkers warp in. Doesn't look like he really got any probe kills. Now dancing in to get a couple additional probe kills, but loses 1 Mutalisk in the process, and 1 Mutalisk for a single probe. Not the best trade-off. And now he's going to lose this 3 o'clock base to this fully charged Void Ray as well. More cannons warping in to defend the main. It looks like a Phoenix just going to pick off that Overlord and try to tempt these Mutalisks off in the meantime. And Kiwikaki is on top of it and just dancing back and forth. And we are seeing a Mothership being built, and that was a really lucky click on my part. I was like, hey, I wonder if that Mothership's being built. So it looks like we will see a Mothership fielded from Kiwikaki. I'm kind of curious to see how he's going to utilize it and field it here. Void Ray is now more or less sunk against the several Mutalisks that are running out. Doesn't look like it's going to get a Mutalisk kill in the meantime, but it's really done its job at this stage, and I really feel like it was well worth its cash. And it looks like we see some Roaches now being fielded, and some Mutalisks now going to try to dive in from another angle. Kiwikaki actually, wow, right on top of it. Beautiful anticipation. That's almost wall hack-ish right there, and sending another Phoenix up along the opposite end to provide some more scouting. Once again, Slush trying to desperately take that 3 o'clock location. It looks like Kiwikaki now starting to move out, loses a probe, and it looks like Stalker Blink is there and does manage to take a Mutalisk out. But losing that probe is going to slow his expansion here at the middle base, and he's in a fantastic position. He's really got Slush pinned back, Slush in an extremely defensive position. Actually, his main is almost mined out. It's actually not, and I assume the saturation is actually right. That's not horrible. Usually you'd want 3 lines at this stage, particularly if you don't even have your 3rd running yet. But it looks like, wow, Kiwikaki actually just going to run up, be very aggressive with this attack force. Plenty of Banelings there, and he might want to back up. He's going to use some force fields to cover his retreat. He could kind of blink back and forth, but a little bit risky at this stage. And he does have a Mothership that's going to be coming out in a couple seconds here, so you might as well just wait for that Mothership, have some additional cloaking, things like that. Immediately Slush starting to move out the 3 o'clock location. Kiwikaki blinking his way, might be able to pick this hatchery off. It's going to be pretty close. Oh man, already sending Slush into the red with that Overlord kill. Units coming up to try to defend, force fields to try to stop those reinforcements from approaching, and Slush actually backing off, just sacking that 3 o'clock base. Now you do have a Mothership fielded somewhere. Looks like it's just chilling at the main in the meantime, and it looks like a sizable engagement here. Kiwikaki just going to sit there with defensive shield up, and that's actually a pretty good force from Slush. I'm surprised Kiwikaki's not backing up. Blinking a little bit here, microing a little bit. He can actually afford to lose these troops where Slush really cannot, because he cannot replenish them. Now the Stalker's finally going to back off. Let's see if they blink down to the low ground blinking down to get a little bit of escape there. And immediately another Stalker army out, and several cannons at the middle, and really nice defensive slot. And it's, wow, this is a terrible position for Slush. Looks like ground armor 2 is being upgraded. Weapons 2 is already up for Kiwikaki. Another attack, able to take down 1 cannon, but losing a Roach. And it looked like, well, actually, just a little bit tic-tac there. But in the meantime, Slush still trying to take the 3 o'clock base. Kiwikaki moving up once again with, and it looks like he has the battle probe stuck in there, and once again getting this base taken out, and continuing to blink forward is just going to pick off some of these lone Hydralisks as he marches forward to just wreak havoc on the base. And wow, just picking off Overlord after Overlord as he marches through. And Slush, well, he's got plenty of spare supply running up. It looks like he's going to blink behind, try to take out, no, he's focusing on the hatchery. Let's see if he can blink his way and actually pick the natural expansion off as well, and this would be devastating for Slush. Absolutely devastating. He might be able to catch another infuse, 2 infuses from that queen to try to save it, but no, the hatchery gets taken out in a recall. A recall back, wow, a recall from the Mothership back to the central base. Unbelievable. Wow. And that's got to leave, well, Slush, first of all, confused because he's got to be thinking, wait, what happened to those troops? On top of that, he's economically paralyzed. His main completely mined out. His natural expansion not even up. And now he's just got to throw everything he's got here at the middle base. Plenty of stalkers to greet him. Now he's going to see that mothership and be like, oh, hey, what's up? Perhaps he has some anti-air to okay, yeah, there he's got some corruptors. I was thinking he's going to bring in some mulisks, but does have a corruptor out. But still, I think it's just going to be warping in units from this stage. He's got sizable upgrades to really cope with this, and he's also got mothership cloaking almost everything underneath. Yeah, level 2 weapons just versus level 1, so sizable upgrade advantage. Slush, GG's, well played by Kiwikaki. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you for listening.